loyalty pledge. Your boy, you see next how that mag and shoddy work. Can't rid this smell with bath and body works. It's sad and probably worse. First, the chroma spit. Wise guys do drive-bys and don't own a whip. Time come, divine sons need a song to rip. Thugs in harmony, cool, I got a bone to pick.
Vlogs, battles, music videos, interviews, and much more. Pushing the culture forward. No Mercy TV.
Yo, what's good, y'all? No Mercy. Trap New York shit. NoMercyTV.com. You know what time it is. We back, man. Feel what I'm saying? Crazy summer. I know it's been like it's been a minute since I dropped something on the solo tip. You feel me? Y'all see what we've been doing with Let's Chop This Fable, man. We've been getting to it. But I know a lot of y'all enjoy the solo content and everything like that. So, I'm gonna get back to that. It's been a busy summer. You feel what I'm saying? We got mad family in the crib, and you got the nice crib, and people got shit going on. This is the crib that everybody come to, blah blah blah. So, it was a summer where I could barely, find time to record, especially having my son and everything. So, it was just hectic around here. You feel what I'm saying? So, not to mention, just got this new camera, Black Magic Cinema joint. So, I'm not trying to shoot with the phone no more. Like, I'm trying to shoot everything on this. You feel me? Pay a lot of money for this camera, so I need to get my money back. You feel me? But let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it. Y'all see the title? It ain't about what's being fed. It's about who fed it. You feel what I'm saying? Man. The first thing I'm gonna say about this whole Chris Unbiased thing, right, is definitely disappointing. You feel me? Just to know what was being told, especially in public and in private, and then other things are starting to come out. You understand? Shit like just shit being dead docketed and all this other stuff, and you look and it's like an extremely active case. You understand? So it's definitely disappointing to see. Me personally, I wasn't making my opinion, based off of what a bunch of weird niggas are saying. A bunch of niggas who really aren't here to catch a rapist. A bunch of guys who are really here for clout chasing. A bunch of guys who are really here for clicks, likes, views, etc., etc. These are the same guys that have done 5 and 6 hour live streams where they're calling the victims. They're putting the victims' information up on the screen for anybody to be able to get at them, like shit like that. Those are not people that I deem credible. I'm sorry, I just don't. You got one guy who, was a white guy, lived in a trailer in Detroit, and used the N-words in his raps. We know he's a racist. You got another guy who's just like, who wants to be king conspiracy, who thinks everything is a lie. It's not a person I can believe. When the person says that they were catching B&E cases in a certain area, and then it turns out, they were just partying in abandoned buildings on some fake Project X shit, then that's a person that you can't take to be credible about anything. You feel me? And then you got the king of the circus, the guy who impregnated his own daughter, the guy who tried to marry his own daughter, like the guy who has 2 baby moms that he met while they were underage, that, he got pregnant while they were underage. So these are not guys that I would take seriously. It would take somebody who's actually credible and knowledgeable about, situations like this to be able to tell me, yo, this is what's going on. This is why when Max V World, when he speaks on it, this is why I consider him a credible source. You understand? When because he actually follows cases, he does his due diligence, looks shit up, even though, everybody who was taking Chris' word for it, that obviously was a mistake. You understand? So, but it happens. But when people who are wrong all the time are right one time, that doesn't stop all of the time that they were wrong. Just like it's the same thing you say, hey, I've been telling you yes all this time, but the one time I said no, you had an issue. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, the one no doesn't discredit all of the yeses somebody did for you. You understand? So, all of the people that are talking about some apologize, the battle truth, and blah, 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 shut the fuck up. Y'all niggas sound stupid. Y'all sound like a bunch of fucking weirdos for even following a man who is an actual statutory rapist. Apologize to a statutory rapist for calling out an alleged rapist. Come on. What are we doing? There will be no apologies given on this side. You understand me? So if you're thinking it's going to be anywhere close to that coming from this platform, it's just not. You know, what I will say is that I'm looking at things differently now. You know, I don't think people really like understand the severity of it. You understand? Like, this is not something that you can really just like jump on camera and just speak about and be dissecting, especially if you're a person that don't know what the fuck you talking about. You understand? This is not something that is just like content. Like, that's not what rape cases are. Like, rape cases is somebody got violated. You know, a woman got violated, and you know, a person is being put on trial for it. Like, that's not something to be, you know, sitting around and, you know, you're trying to crack the case and y'all want to call victims and call people's families and stuff like that. That's not what that's about. But niggas have somehow made it about everything else but the actual situation. So when I'm seeing people sitting around and it's becoming other issues, like it's other issues starting up aside from the case itself. So when I'm seeing, you know, people like Anwar, and I fucks with Anwar, you feel me? Like, I don't know about anybody else, but I ain't got no personal issues with Anwar. I actually fuck with son. But just to even see him be on a big spaces like that and be on some, yo, Piper Boy, yo, Angry Fan, where the blogs at, blah, blah, blah. It's like, that shouldn't even be a concern. Like, if you got a personal issue with that particular situation, then you should be using your platform to bring awareness to it. You understand? Like, and that's for, if you're going to do it on your caffeine show, on your YouTube, or on the Champion YouTube, or whatever the case is, then that's one thing. But I think making a call to action on some, like, you know, you're calling people out and stuff like that, like, there was a lot of that going on that I just thought was corny. You understand? Like, that's not what this is about here. You know, and even still, everybody doesn't have all of the facts. You understand? Everybody doesn't have all of the paperwork, and everybody's not going to sit through 100, 200, 300 pages of paperwork to try to come do a decision about somebody else's case. There are people that get paid to do this. People that get paid 6 and 7 figure salaries to do this. So why would a whole bunch of people that never been to law school, probably never been to court a day in their life, most of these motherfuckers never even got a jaywalking ticket, why would they be the ones to be sitting around trying to break down somebody's paperwork? You understand? Like, there's times where you're going to get paperwork and you're going to see it's like a simple situation, kind of like the Adi Boom thing. You know, the Adi Boom shit was real simple to figure out. It was paperwork handed out. Everybody was able to see the 2 or 3 pages that was given out and where it specifically said that Adi Boom told. You understand? But something like the Chris situation where it's like, okay, and this is all alleged. I'm not going to, you know, say rapist, whatever. Because, again, legally, in order for you to call somebody a rapist, they actually have to be on the sex offender registry, and they have to have been found guilty of rape to be called a rapist. Now, what you think of in your own mind or how you feel is one thing, but you can actually be sued for calling somebody a rapist who hasn't been found guilty of rape. You know, so with that, you have his side, you have the victim side, you have multiple victims, you have DNA tests, like you have all these different things different recounts of events and things like that that have to be all put together in order to really come up with a actual decision on who did what. That's not something that's easy to just put together. You can't do that in a 3 or 4 hour live stream like this. Why they have trial. That's why they have due process and deliberation and, you know, shit with the jurors. They have to have meetings and stuff like that. Like, this is something that a lot goes into. So a bunch of weirdos sitting around on YouTube, you know, doing these long ass streams are not going to be the judge, jury, and executioner, even though it's funny. One actually thinks he's a judge, you understand, but he's not with a do-rag on. You feel me? So it's just like, that's not one of those things where you can just like come to a real decision on things. And even still, I'm not saying that son is a rapist, but I can honestly say that there's been a lot of lies spread from that guy. There's definitely been a lot of lies told. And judging from what we've seen, like in terms of paperwork, stuff he said in blogs and his documentary and stuff like that, there's just a lot of stuff that conflicts. So even for me, like, I don't have beef with the guy, but I do think he has a lot that he has to clear up. Now, my thing is this, right? He probably should have just kept his mouth closed until the case was done and over with, because, you know, you can stick your foot in your mouth when you're rushing to, you know, get back to the internet to try and disprove rumors and stuff like that. He should have just stayed quiet the whole time. You understand? Being that you already took to the internet and decided to, explain your story, or, you know, what your side of the story is, now you have to be consistent with that, because in a situation like this where now you have a victim that came forward and she's saying what she's saying, now is not the time to go into hiding. You know, now is not the time to do that. You might want to, you know, use your platform to speak out and let people know what's going on. And I'm talking about the person that's actually involved, not nobody else that's media, blogger. I'm talking about the person that's actually involved, the person who actually gets on camera, talks about battle rap, has spoken about the case, et cetera, et cetera. Right now, you need to be defending yourself because it's not looking good. And this ain't like how Adi Boone tried to do the, I can't find my paperwork and blah, 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 or I ain't showing y'all my paperwork, y'all already came to a decision. Nigga, we know you told already. We seen the paperwork for ourselves. But for a more complicated case, like the one that Chris is dealing with, you need to, you know, come forward and address everything that's been, you know, going on, because now it's not just the weirdos that's speaking out about you. It's also people like me. It's people like the ARP, who I seen on Black Compass, basically banning them from events. You know, he definitely can't come to a trap event. Definitely not. It will be no Chris Unbiased at a trap event. I'm sorry. You know, I know he supported the league in the past, but this, until this is, and even with, you know, if he was to clear this stuff up, this still was the woman that came forward. I think her name is Jaquise J. She came forward and said, you know, Chris groped at an event. You understand? And I wouldn't want anybody that does that kind of shit at one of my places of business. You understand what I'm saying? So that's just what it is on that end. But it's one of those things that he just has to come and clear up. He got to clear it up. He got to come and speak on it. You know, now is not the time to go into hiding. According to the paperwork, you had 2 court dates last week, so I understand that might have, you know, tied some shit up. But now, when the pressure's on and you really have to be, like, honest about the things you've been saying and things you've been doing, now is the time to come forward. Now is the time to come forward, because if you don't, everybody's just going to cast you off as if you did it. You know, and again, if you were going to be silent, you probably should have did that from the beginning. But being that you didn't, now you have to, you know, now that your case is starting to reach more eyes and more valid people are starting to come forth with their issues, now you got a lot of things you have to clear up for the community. You understand? And it's crazy. It's crazy. I would normally advise this is why lawyers advise people to shut up publicly about their cases. Because let's just say, we know cases like, when it comes to telling your side and defending yourself in court, everybody's not going to be truthful. Everybody's not going to be truthful. A person who's on trial for murder could have cold killed a man on camera, and his alibi is going to be, no, I was in bed with somebody else at the time that it happened. That wasn't me. You understand what I'm saying? So we already know how that works. But when you're going into public with it and people can bring up things to, prove otherwise, that's when you kind of put yourself in a bind that it's going to be hard to get out of. And you know how it always go. You cover up one lie with another lie, with another lie, with another lie, and it just keeps on going from there. You understand? So, but I'm good on any, communication or anything with Chris. You feel me? Even if found not guilty, it's still like the whole groping shit that, just kind of weirded me out. And I'm just like, nah, that ain't somebody I could really, be rocking with. Like, no different than the fucking Greedy Gotti situation. You feel what I'm saying? So, but, and like I said, this ain't going to turn into me, being on I got to blog on Chris every day and we got beef and blah, blah, blah. No, it's not even that, because Chris is a person who doesn't even give off that type of energy. So I wouldn't even approach it like that. You understand me? Like, Adi Boom was trying to give off that type of energy. So that's why he got 1 million blogs. But somebody like Chris, nah, I wouldn't do that to him. You understand? Like, stating my stance on the situation, and I'm just gonna keep it moving. You feel me? It's a whole lot more going on to talk about, so that's what we're gonna do. You feel what I'm saying? So y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. I know it's gonna be a lot of angry people and trolls and stuff like that out there, but I don't give a fuck. I'm here for the smoke, so let me know what y'all think, and I'll holler at y'all soon. No Mercy, Trap New York shit, NoMercyTV.com. I'm out of here.